Welcome back to another episode of Chef's Platter. Last week I did show you on how to make Moroccan lamb chops and how to make the lamb steaks and how to cook them and how to plate them. Now, this week I'm going to show you on another cut of the lamb, which we call it the lamb shank. This is actually the shin of the lamb where we have the muscles. Mostly we get it from the back leg of the lamb. The muscles usually are very tough, but there is a way of making them to be very tender and very soft to eat them. So I'm going to show you on how to make the lamb shank. I'm going to grill it a bit to give it a little bit color. Now for the lamb shank, you have to marinate it for 24 hours so that the marination can go inside. We marinate it with rosemary, coriander, a bit of garlic, ginger, and a bit of olive oil so that the marination can go inside. We give it 24 hours so that the meat, the shank can absorb the marination and be a little bit tasty. Usually what I do with my shank, what I was being taught by my chef, Mohsin Korich, after marinating the lamb, you put a little bit of sea salt so that it can have a nice flavor. So I'm going to give it the color, and then I'm going to put it a little bit in the oven to cook inside, and then I'm going to show you what next after that. So to give it some time so that you can have the brown color. So you have to be very careful because I've told you it is the muscles. The muscles are usually very tough, but here in Fairview we have a way of making the meat from the muscles very, very tender. I'm going to turn it. You can see how beautiful it is. As I told you last week, you have to be very careful and also observe each and every cut, because each and every cut, it has a different way of cooking it. It has a different way, different type of cooking it. So you have to be very observant as a chef. So we give it a couple of minutes so that you we can give it a little bit of the color. So as I told you also last week, as a chef you have to be creative each and every day. You have to think of new ideas. You have to think outside the box so that you can give quality meals. You have to make sure all sides have a bit of the color. Now I'm going to put it in the oven for around 7 minutes for 139 degrees. Now you can see I'm getting the color, the brown color. That is what I wanted. So if at home you don't have a grill, you can use just a pan. Just put a little bit of olive oil or clarified butter. Before you put it in the pan, make sure you season it very well and make sure it stays for 24 hours so that the meat can absorb the marination and have a very nice flavor. So I'm going to put it in the oven for around 7 minutes at 139 degrees, and I think it is ready. Meat is ready. So I'm going to put it in the oven for 7 minutes, 139 degrees. See you after the break. Thank you. Welcome back to the Chef's Platter. My name is Chef Salim. As I told you earlier on, I did put my lamb for 7 minutes at 139 degrees. So what I'm going to do next, I'm going to show you on how to prepare it. I'm going to put a little bit of olive oil, some chopped carrots, onion leeks, little bit of garlic, white onion, then I'm going to saute them a bit. I'm going to put a little bit of salt, pepper, then after that I'm going to use the brown stock. I'm going to put the brown stock inside the veggies I've just shown you. It has a very, very beautiful smell. You feel it? Now I'm going to put inside the brown stock. Then I'm going to take my lamb shank. It has to simmer for 1.5 hours inside the brown stock so that it can get the flavor, and also it can cook slowly to make it very tender and very, very soft and absorb all the flavors inside there. So I'm going to put it inside. Now it is going to simmer for 1.5 hours inside the brown stock together with the vegetables so that it can get a very nice flavor to be very, very, very tasty. Then cover it and let it simmer for 1.5 hours. So it has to be on a slow fire. But I'm going to show you another lamb shank which I had made a couple of hours earlier. So this one is going to take around 1.5 hours. So this is what I had made. It has simmered for 1.5 hours. You can also see the sauce, it was full. It has reduced to this. So it has a very nice flavor to go with. So after the break, I'm going to show you on how to plate it to be more appealing to the guest. Thank you so much. See you after the break. Welcome back to Chef's Platter. My name is Chef Salim. I'm heading the Pango Kitchen at the Fairview Hotel Limited. As I had told you earlier, we are going to plate the lamb shank. I had told you also about the lamb shank, the muscles, the toughness of the muscles, and the trick about it on how to cook it to be very soft and very tender. So now I'm going to show you on how to plate it to make a very beautiful plate and plate the lamb shank. I'm going to start with the garden piece, the puree we make from the garden piece. So we have to play very nice with the colors. This was the carrot puree. I'm going to use here the beetroot puree. And also the cauliflower. Now you can see how we are playing with the colors, how you mix the colors to make a very beautiful plate at a very short time. Checking on my lamb shank, still simmering. I'm going to put some gourgettes, rolled gourgettes. Need to play well with your colors. There's a bit of baby corn. The turnips. So now our plate is ready. Now we are going to put the lamb shank. Here is our lamb shank, very nicely done, very soft and very, very tasty. Very, very tasty. Very, very nice. You have to be very careful so that you don't dirtify your plate. And you are going to put a little bit of the sauce in the shank. Now you can see it is a very, very beautiful shank and a very soft shank. So I'm going to put a little bit of pak choy. Bon appetit. Now you can see you have a very beautiful lamb shank with different colors, different kind of vegetables to make it look nice and appealing to the guest. Now what I told you, you can see now the colors You can see the way we have cooked it, the way we have prepared it. It is very nice, soft and tender. So now each and every guest will enjoy, and everyone will be happy about it. So if you follow each and every details of all we have gone through the whole episode, showing you on how to from the butchery, the way our butcher showed you on how to cut it, how to get the shank, and also the way I've showed you on how to grill it, how to put it in the oven, how to make the brown stock, and how to make the veggies we are putting in the shank. If you follow each and every step, you are going to get a very beautiful shank, a very tender and a very soft one. So we'll see you next week on another episode. We are going to show you different types of cuts of lamb, beef, and other things also. Thank you so much. It was nice having you. See you next time. Thank you.